Welcome to Flory Models Daily Vlog. Here we are on Thursday the 26th of May 2016, and today traditionally is a day of reviews. Normally I spend all day on Thursdays and half a day Friday just doing the reviews, but because of stuff late coming in and stuff like that, I haven't actually got anything to give you that's a brand new update and everything else. Got the reviews for tomorrow, and I've got something a little bit special because it's my entry into the group build. But generally it's been a day of getting on, and it started something like this. Good morning, welcome to Flory Models. Here we are on Thursday. Now traditionally today is review day, but I'll be honest, nothing's here. Delivery's a bit slow coming in and out, especially one delivery which we're still waiting on, which is the sci-fi project. I've been told it'll be in today, and I have been actually given tracking and everything else like that. I have got some of this stuff, which is, yeah, you guessed it, this is that, I don't know what they call it. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it now, but basically it's the polyurethane matting that they use in gyms. It's incredibly high density and all the rest of it. So instead of using foam board or polystyrene and things like that for making dioramas, anything at all, I'm using that little technique that I've learned on the internet. I was looking around various things, and you can layer this stuff up, stick it together, and it welds solid, okay, and then you can physically carve it, shape it, sand it, because the density of the foam is extremely strong. Something I'll be showing in a couple of weeks time when we do some various projects, which I've got planned for that one, but it's dirt cheap. This is the thing with it, the reason for doing it, this is enough to do, I can't remember now, how much does a pack do, I don't know, but this is 2 lots of it, and it's enough to do a large area. But this only actually cost me 10 quid including delivery, which for one delivery this week has turned up really on time. Thanks a lot for the feedback on the Halifax. Now, the reason why there is no photos is that I'm trying to show you that sort of warts and all finished model, because a lot of people, you know, have quite rightly pointed out is that, you know, by the time things have been photographed on a beautiful base and everything else like that, they're not actually that representative of the real model and things like that. And I get a lot of people come here and they say, oh, it looks different in the light. You know, some obviously a lot better. It looks far better in, you know, by looking at it like this. And others say, oh, it's different, you know, so I don't know. So what I've done this time is to give you really nice, obviously we've used the big camera with all its capable settings of going around, hopefully quite smoothly panning around, to give you a really close detailed look of the entire model, which is like complete warts and all, which we all hate zooming right in at it, but it shows off obviously the small imperfections that all models have. I don't care whose it is, there's no such thing as a perfect model. I want to show mine off as well, so you can really get a feel for how the final model looked, instead of it being on some beautiful background shot from a good distance away, Photoshop, corrected, none of that. This is literally raw footage shot from the camera, just spliced together, and I show it with you just like this. So this was the whole point of doing them. Again, give me your feedback on it. If you liked it, then fair enough. Then what we're going to do is obviously we'll all like this. If you didn't, I'll go back to doing normal photos on nice backgrounds and all the rest of it. So today it's going to be answering more questions. So we've had 2 PMs come in whilst I've been talking to you. Okay, so I've got a couple of PMs to get through. Literally, I'm going to finish off the last tiny bit on that cockpit, which is coming along fantastically well. As I said, slightly different on this format. It's going to be, or I'm going to try, we're going to go with this particular build, see how this works out, but like I'm trying to explain with it, instead of it being a 30-minute video build, each part is going to be its own video. Okay, so for this one, it's all about painting, weathering and building an aftermarket cockpit that just so happens it's the Focke-Wulf 190, okay? And then we're going to do the same with the engine. So they're all going to be in the same list. So when you do, you know, we come along to the video builds and all the bits and pieces like that here, and we go in, when you actually see them and you click onto the video build like we've done with our Halifax, see, always a way you need to log in, it's still going to appear just like this. Okay, so you're still, but part 1 is going to be, instead of it being just a part 1, and it could be different sections of the build and all the rest of it that's going on, just going to focus now on the cockpit. The second one is going to be about the engine. The third one is going to be about the gun deck. The fourth one is going to be about wheels, undercarriage, working with the brass undercarriage and the resin parts and all things like that, okay? And that's how it's actually going to work. And then, you know, we're going to do another one, it'll be called construction, and that will actually be putting it together. Next one will be like sanding and filling, and it will cover all the sanding, filling, and maybe re-riveting, details to put it in. Then the next one will be called the paint stage. So the idea is that perhaps some of them won't be, you know, sort of less than half an hour, shall we say, but some of them could be an hour's long. So, but it'll be more of a standalone area instead of it being, you know, just flowing one to the other and making a way through. That way, a lot of people have said to me is like, oh, it'd be nice if you focused on a specific area. That way you can just come along, and if you wanted to know about painting the cockpit or weathering it, instead of it being perhaps over 3 or 4 different builds and broken up amongst it all, it'll just be in that section. So you can just come along now and you'll be able to click on that one. It'll have a thumbnail of the item itself, okay, and then that way you can say, right, okay, that's the bit I want to do, that's how we're going to do it, and everything else like that. So that is how I intend to do. Because I say, going to finish off the airliner. I've got lots of little jobs to finish off, which I'll talk to you throughout the day as we make our way through, and everything else like that. And then tomorrow we should have the stuff here to be able to do some reviews. Okay, and there we go. So as we can see here, we have it zipping around looking lovely. We have the conclusion to the Boeing 787-800 Dreamliner that I did in Thompson's. Okay, this is confession time. This is what's good about these vlogs. I have to confess, I've lost, well, all the sprues for it. So I've had to scratch build the aerials, which you can see whizzing around on here. Perhaps you can't, a bit close. Okay, you can see them on there and everything else like that. The fins strikes that you see, I'll turn this thing off. I'll find the on-off button as this makes its way around now. Okay, these fins down here. Okay, so we've got one down there, and we've got one over here, down on there. We'll catch it against the background, you can see it better. Yeah, you see that one there? Okay, had to scratch build those as well because I'd lost those. Apart from that, I have to say, yes, we've had a few problems with it. Yes, it's got dust in the lacquer coat. Yes, it wasn't as straightforward as I was hoping it was going to be. And no, I don't think you need to get the aftermarket engines for it. I think the ones in the kit would have been absolutely fine for it. But apart from that, it was fantastic. Okay, really, really enjoyed it. It's the last bit. I'm going to edit it all this afternoon, and hopefully it'll be up with you tonight, just like that. But generally, no problems at all. If I sit that down there, okay. Just need to angle that up a bit. Tell you what, I did have the gorilla stand for this, but unfortunately I forgot it. Okay, right. So that's that one done. To be honest, we've also finished off the cockpit and everything for the 190. I have taken loads of photos of it, and I've now packaged it up and put it off to one side, because now we're going to work on the engine, and then once we've done the engine, that will go off to one side. We'll work on the gun deck and various things, so forth and so on, as we make our way through the build until we bring it together. Because I don't want to be in the situation that I've done in the last 2 builds. I managed to lose the decals for the Halifax, had to buy new ones, and now I've lost the sprues, which had all the aerials and the lumps and bumps on for this one. And this is the thing, I don't throw away sprue at all. In fact, I can prove it because I have them here. But somehow, here they are from all the last builds, and I keep a pile of them down here until they're ready to go. Purely because you never know, like this is all the Halifax stuff down there and everything else. But amazingly, I've managed to misplace 2 sprues from the 787, but you say I don't throw anything out. Everything stays here. Quick tip for you as well, don't hoover until you finish the build. So because both of these are now completed and done, I'll actually hoover the floor, because many times I'm like missing tiny bits, can't find them anywhere, check the floor, they're on the floor. Yeah, if I'd hoovered up every day, chances are it would have gone up the hoover. Right, mail time, literally here has just come now, so we can get in here. Right, I'm going to be a bit careful with this one because I don't want to obviously drop the said company in with this. There's nothing on the label, it's just on our one, okay? But there's a reason why I'm not going to show you who it is, okay? Because I don't honestly want to get them into trouble. But bearing in mind, the postman has literally just handed me this item, okay? So, you know, this is it, okay? First class raw mail. Excellent service. I have to say, I only ordered this day before yesterday, okay? But we've got self-leveling thinners, which, let's face it, there's no packaging in here particularly, okay? But we've got, what, these 400ml? So basically almost a litre and a half. And also I bought the little screw caps for them, which I'll show you about before. Now I won't obviously show you any more in there. In fact, let me just shift the invoice so I can show you. That's exactly how it's packaged, okay? That was it, there's nothing else in. This stuff is flammable and should not go through the post. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not like saying, you know, it's great and all the rest of it, but from my point of view is that, you know, if I send something, I'd get caught, you just know it. But they've managed to send to me via first class post, technically almost 1.5 litres of highly flammable, highly irritant, highly everything you can imagine, lacquer self-leveling thinners through the post. But I have got some of these as well. These are the little screw cap top ones for it. which are great because literally you can just screw them onto here and you can squirt them out then and use them like that instead of having to get a pipette, which then if it falls in sinks and you can't get it out. We've all been there, so I've got that for it. But I was getting low on the self-leveling thinners, but they have sent me that out. But it amazed me. Great service, I absolutely no problem, because I did order it very late. I was about 4 o'clock, so I wasn't expecting it next day. So technically it's almost next day service. But I won't name the company, but how they managed to get that through the actual post system is beyond me, because I know if I tried it, I'd be nailed to the wall for it. Okay, so this afternoon I am literally going to edit up the last part of this guy. Okay, so we'll get this one edited up to you so you can watch that tonight. Reviews wise, as I say, I'm a little bit lacking on reviews, if I'm honest. So what I'm going to do for you tomorrow is I'm going to show you what I'm planning on doing for the Big in Japan SIG. I've got two, to be honest, that I'm going to do. One's going to be sci-fi, one's going to be a Japanese Air Force aircraft. Okay, so I'm going to show you that one tomorrow, and obviously it'll be part of the review, and I'll obviously bring it up because of the SIG starting next month and things like that. Well, next month, 1st of July it starts, and everything else. Couple of little things, little tease for you, something I have been working on. Somebody asked me about, am I going to be doing new things with like natural metal finishes and stuff like that? That's going to get it big time. Okay, so that one's going to be completely done, high finish and everything else, and we're going to show weathering on it and various bits and pieces. So little thing like that, and generally that's about it. So this morning's been basically finishing off jobs, getting that one finished. Going to do the editing. Hopefully I'm going to have enough time to do the Osprey, or I'm going to find time to do the Osprey, because I want to get that primed, ready to go, and then obviously that'll be pushing through next week as we make the builds through like that. So there we go, that's about it for today. Join me tonight for tonight's new show, and I'll catch you later. So there you go, as you say, a day of finishing definitely lots of stuff off. Really happy of how the cockpit's done. As I said, no, it's been packed up and gone away now and everything else, but hopefully you've got some pictures here. It's going to be one of those things, as I say, it's a new little way of doing things. I'm showing you guys how I'm going to work it and everything else, but hopefully it'll be a great insight, not just doing this particular cockpit, but all cockpits, because roughly they're all going to go slightly the same. Yes, you're going to get differences between a modern cockpit and perhaps a World War II, and the different colours. You might want to use different washes and dry brushing techniques and things like that, but the overall how you do it is exactly the same throughout all of them. So you've got that one down there, and then obviously it was all about this guy finishing it off, going through the motions of it, and generally a build that was a lot of fun, and again, it's a learning curve, and that's what I try and do with all of my builds, is show you something a little bit different. So this one, we've got lots of things going on here. We've got bare metal foil, we've got gloss coats, we've got custom colors, making up your own color mixes and trying to get them right, and then bringing it all together, as well as doing a good sounding job on this one, because as I said, any seam lines are going to stand out like a sore thumb, like the guys who were here were pointing out to me, the one on the bottom, which is now gone, and everything else. But anyway, the last part of that is up on the site now. It's been a fantastic build on that one, and you can see a lot more pictures of that a little bit later on. The other thing I've been doing as well is obviously pushing on heavily with this guy. So we've got the pre-shading down onto here. It's just about to go into paint and all things like that. And again, we're going to use different techniques to get similar effects, if you like. So instead of just doing normal sort of post and pre-shading, we're going to have a go at sanding back the paint a little bit, perhaps a little bit of filter work on it, and then generally a little bit of post-shading, really to grime it up and bring it to life. But it's such an interesting aircraft, this one. Really am enjoying doing it, and I'm enjoying going around looking at the reference pictures and everything else of that, but it still, to me, from the underside, looks like a hunter killer from the Terminator. But really is a lot of fun, and as I say, it's a great kit. So this next part of this one will be up to you on Wednesday, because obviously on Monday you're going to have the first part from the actual the cockpit build, which will be the entire of the cockpit and everything else like that. So there we go, that's about it from me today. Catch me tomorrow. I'm going to have my entry, or one of my entries, going to do 2 into the Japanese group build that we got coming up starting soon. We'll talk more about that as we get a little bit closer, but that'll be up with you tomorrow. We're going to have a look, see how Flow on the Go's getting on, and obviously all your work from the forum, and an update from the forum and all your great builds. So there we go, that's it from me. Go off and see the last part of the Thompson build up on the site right now, and I'm going to leave you with a video from that one. So until tomorrow, everybody, happy modelling and take care.